In the heart of a dense forest nestled between ancient mountains, there lived a small bird named Pip. Pip was a sparrow, tiny, brown, and often overlooked by others in the animal kingdom. But Pip was different, not in how he looked, but in how he dreamed. He had heard tales from migratory birds, stories of golden deserts, silver seas, endless skies. One day he'd whisper to himself, "I'll see those places too." But the other birds would laugh. "You cross the mountains," chuckled an old crow. "You barely fly above the trees," said a woodpecker. "Just be grateful for what you have," chirped a pigeon. "Dreams are dangerous." And for a while Pip believed them. One crisp morning, as the forest bathed in golden light, an injured falcon crash-landed near Pip's tree. His wings were scratched and his feathers scorched as if he had flown through fire. Pip, without hesitation, hopped down and began gathering leaves and herbs he'd seen used by squirrels. With care and patience, Pip tended to the falcon every day. Though the falcon was fierce, proud, and silent at first, he eventually softened. "Why would you help me?" the falcon finally asked. "Because you needed help," Pip answered simply. When the falcon could finally fly again, he turned to Pip. "You are small, but your heart is mighty. You remind me of a story, of a sparrow who flew across the desert alone." Pip's eyes sparkled. "Tell me." So the falcon told him a tale of a bird smaller than Pip, who, with no guidance or map, crossed a blazing desert just because she believed she could. She had nothing but her will, and that will carried her. Before leaving, the falcon gave Pip a gift, a single feather from his wing, silver and tipped with red. "This is a feather of fire," he said. "Let it remind you, your size doesn't define your strength. The fire is already within you." That night, Pip could barely sleep. The story, the feather, and his own dreams stirred in his chest like a storm. The next morning he packed some seeds and water in a leaf pouch, tied the feather to his leg with grass, and looked up. The mountains towered in the distance like ancient giants, their peaks hidden in clouds. Most birds avoided them. The air was thin, cold, and unpredictable. With a deep breath, he took off. The first few hours were magical. The wind was gentle, the trees below waved like old friends, and Pip felt like a part of the sky. But as he neared the mountains, the winds turned fierce. The air grew colder, thinner. Pip flapped harder. He rose higher. But the higher he flew, the stronger the doubts became. "You're too small. You'll never make it. Go back." A strong gust slammed into him. Pip tumbled through the sky, his pouch tearing and seeds spilling out. He crashed onto a rocky ledge, trembling. Tears welled up in his eyes. "Maybe they were right," he whispered. "Maybe dreams are dangerous." Then he felt something against his leg. The feather of fire. It shimmered, even in the cold, dark shadows. "The fire is already within you." Pip stood up. "I may be small," he said, "but I'm not weak." With that, he leapt off the ledge and flew once more. The mountains tested Pip. Snowflakes stung his eyes, thin air clawed at his breath, but he kept going. Days passed. Pip flew by night and rested by day. He drank from frozen springs and hid in hollow rocks. And then, one morning, he rose above the final ridge. The clouds parted, the sun broke through, and Pip saw it. A vast land stretched out before him, golden fields, sparkling rivers, forests that sang with color. The sky looked endless. It was more beautiful than he ever imagined. He had done it. He had crossed the mountains. Pip spent weeks exploring the new lands. He saw birds he had never imagined, bright flamingos, clever parrots, swift hummingbirds. But unlike back home, no one laughed at his size here. Birds listened to his story. They asked about the feather. They marveled at his courage. One day, Pip stood atop a tall tree overlooking the valley. A young bird approached him. "Is it true?" she asked. "You crossed the mountains?" Pip nodded. "But how?" Pip smiled. "The power was never in my wings, it was always in me." Many seasons later, Pip returned to his old forest. The same crow was there, perched on a crooked branch. The same woodpecker was busy knocking on bark. But when Pip landed, they barely recognized him. He carried himself differently. His eyes held wisdom, his heart radiated warmth. You came back?" the crow asked, surprised. "Yes," Pip said, smiling. "And I have stories to share." Soon, young birds gathered around Pip every evening. He spoke of golden lands and hidden valleys, of falcons and feathers, of storms and skies. But more than anything, he spoke of belief. He never told them it was easy, but he always told them it was worth it. Pip built a nest high in the tallest tree, where he could see both the mountains and the skies beyond. The feather of fire still hung by his nest, reminding everyone who saw it of what was possible. At every time a young bird doubted themselves, Pip would smile and say, "You don't have to be the biggest or the strongest. You just have to believe. The world will try to tell you what you can't do, but only you can decide what you will do. Because the greatest power in the world is the power within you."